Happy Tuesday, everyone, and welcome to Stellar Parenting with Brandi from Houston, Texas. I'm your host, Brandi Kahn. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and I also hold a Master of Science degree in psychology with an emphasis in child and adolescent development. And I'm really passionate about helping parents to custom design their parenting approach based on their child's natal chart. And for those of you parents out there who have energetically sensitive children who may be very empathic, very intuitive, or they are a star seed, I am here to help you be the parent that your child really needs. So, for more information on how you can work with me, please visit my website at brandycon.com. I look forward to hearing from you. So today I will be talking about the astrological transits that we have coming up for this week. But before we jump into that, I just want to take a minute and to share with you all what's been going on in my life over the past few weeks. So last week, one of my very best friends experienced a sudden aneurysm and she passed away very unexpectedly. And also last week in my community, we had a young man who unexpectedly passed away. So these events really put things in perspective for me, and they really caused me to think about my own mortality. This week, I will be attending two funerals. And tomorrow, Wednesday, June 4th, I will be remembering my father in law who passed away on June 4th, 2 years ago. So, right now, one of the major themes in my life that I'm focusing on and dealing with is people transitioning to the spirit world. And for those of you who may be going through the same experience that I am going through right now, this episode is dedicated to you all. So today we're going to be exploring one of the most sacred and often unspoken topics in parenting, which is life after death. So, whether you have experienced a loss recently or whether your child is asking deep, profound spiritual questions, or maybe you're just curious about what happens after life, what happens when we transition, this episode is for you. So, we're going to talk about the soul's journey, reincarnation, signs from loved ones, and how we as parents can really nurture our children's connection to the unseen world. Have you ever heard, have any of you ever had one of your children say something to you like, I was with the angels before I came here? Or I picked you to be my mommy? If so, I want you to realize these are not just cute, random statements from your child. They are often glimpses into a deep spiritual memory that children carry before it gets conditioned out of them. Children, especially those that we call star seeds, empaths, or children who are intuitive or sensitive, they are deeply connected to the other side, life beyond the veil. And they may speak about loved ones who have passed. They may remember dreams that they had that feel like visitations, or they may ask really deep questions about death and what happens after. And as parents, it's important that we don't shut down this type of conversation out of our own sense of discomfort or fear. Instead, we can be the safe place for our children to explore the unknown. So, what happens when we die? Now, from a spiritual perspective and supported by thousands of near death experiences, spiritual traditions, and intuitive accounts, death is not the end. It's simply a transition. So, the soul leaves the physical body and returns to the spirit realm, sometimes called heaven, home, or the light. And in that space, our souls are met by guides, ancestors, and a profound sense of love and peace. And once we cross, we have the opportunity to reflect on our lives and to prepare for what's next. So now let's talk about soul contracts. Many traditions teach that before we are born, we choose our life, we choose our family, and we even choose some of the biggest challenges that we will face during our physical time here on earth. This is known as a soul contract. So your child may have chosen you to be their parent for a very specific reason, perhaps to break a generational pattern or to teach you unconditional love or to fulfill a shared mission. And these ideas are not just spiritual fluff. They bring compassion and a deep sense of purpose to our parenting. A reincarnation is another piece of the soul journey. It's the idea that our souls live many lifetimes in different bodies for the purpose of learning, evolving, and growing in consciousness. Some children vividly recall past lives, complete with names, places, and events that they couldn't possibly know otherwise. And researchers like Dr. Ian Stevenson and Dr. Jem Tucker have studied over 2,500 verified cases of past life memories in children. One child might say, I died in a plane crash, or my name used to be Sarah and I had a sister named Lily. Some of these stories are eerily accurate to an amazing degree. And these children are not making these stories up, they are remembering. If this happens with your child and they speak about their memories of a lifetime that they previously lived, you can respond this way. That sounds like a very real memory. I'm listening. Tell me more. So don't interrogate, just allow the story to unfold. And we're talking about signs from the spirit world. After someone we love dies, their presence does not disappear. Many people, adults and children alike, report experiencing signs from their loved ones in the spirit world, such as flickering lights, familiar smells, finding feathers in strange places, seeing butterflies, hearing significant songs, or having really vivid dreams. And children, especially children, are very open to these signs. They might say, Grandma was in the room with me last night, or the bird outside told me that Grandpa is okay. So you don't have to validate every single detail, but you can really honor the feeling behind it. Cry saying, I believe Grandma still loves us from the spirit world. And maybe she's showing up to remind us that we are not alone. And when we teach our children that spirit is real and that love continues beyond the body, we really give them a spiritual foundation rooted in trust, comfort, and connection. And so many of us as adults, we carry anxiety around about death. And that's because no one really talked to us when we were younger about it with a sense of love and honesty. So we can change that for our children. We can give them a different experience. So when discussing death, you can use age appropriate language, such as the body stops working, but the spirit goes on. Or even when we can't see someone, we can still feel their love inside of us. Remember, you're not just raising a child, you are guiding a soul. When you open the door to conversations about life, death, and the unseen world, you are giving your child one of the greatest gifts, and that is the freedom to explore their own truth. Life after death is not a fearful ending. We want to teach our children that it's a part of a beautiful, ongoing journey. And I have a channeled message to share with you. Even when it seems darkest and as if all hope is lost, never forget that the souls of those you have loved can still feel your love within the spirit world. So open your heart and receive their love, their healing, and their support, for they will never leave you. And so, again, if any of you are having the same type of week that I'm having, not only does my heart go out to you, but I also wish you much love, healing, and support along your journey. Next week, we will be discussing cases where children have remembered details from past lives. There's some really amazing stories that I cannot wait to share with you. So remember to tune in next week. Now let's hop into our transits for this week so that you'll know what the energy is like, what you'll be dealing with, and how to best use this energy to your advantage. Tomorrow, on Wednesday, June 4th, Venus will be at 28 degrees of Aries, sextiling Jupiter at 28 degrees of Gemini. Now, Venus is the planet of pleasure, love, beauty, finances, and Jupiter is the planet of growth, abundance, and expansion. And when these two come together, it's a feel good transit. It creates a really beautiful flow of harmonious and uplifting energy. So, this is an ideal time for socializing, for expanding relationships, and enjoying the arts. And this aspect is a sextile, which opens the door to ease and opportunity, especially if you take the initiative. So, this transit is favorable for all financial enterprises, but I want you to use your discretion with that. But especially for financial enterprises involving foreign investments, medicine, and law. But again, use your discretion. Any legal matters decided under this transit could work out for your benefit and in your favor. So, this is the ideal time to say yes to connection, accept invitations, plan a date, or initiate heartfelt conversations with those that you love. It's a fabulous time to meet new people or deepen bonds through warmth and mutual appreciation. Also, it's a great time to practice generosity and gratitude. So give freely during this time, and that can be giving compliments freely, giving support, or through financial generosity. Jupiter amplifies what you offer, and Venus helps for it to be received with a sense of grace. Acts of kindness will go a long way under this influence. So lean into really connecting with others, deepening bonds, meeting new people, forming new relationships, and also lean into the desire to lead or to start something new, especially around classes, learning, or conversations. On Thursday, June 5th, Mercury at 23 degrees of Gemini will sextile Mars at 23 degrees of Leo. Mercury is the planet of communication, and it rules how we think, how we speak, how we integrate information on a mental level. Mars is that fiery planet of energy, action, drive, passion, enthusiasm. So when we put these two together, this is a mentally energizing transit that really sharpens your communication, your focus, and your drive. So when Mercury and Mars form a sextile, there's a supportive flow of energy between mind and action, mind and action. This transit can bring really quick thinking, persuasive communication, and a desire to act on any ideas that you've had. And this is not, even though this is Mars. Yes, this is Mars, but this is not aggressive energy. It's not meant to be used aggressively, but it is assertive. So it's an excellent time for important conversations, negotiations, or pitches. You will be much more articulate, persuasive, and direct without coming across too harshly. So use this momentum to really make decisions or to take action on things that you've been thinking about. Along the same lines, mental focus will be high, especially for problem solving tasks that require clarity, logic, and speed. So, activities like debate, martial arts, competitive games, or fast paced learning can really channel this energy, this mental and physical energy, in a constructive way. But I want you to watch out for this. Watch out for one thing for me. Watch out for speaking without thinking, because your mind is going to be moving very fast. And impulsivity can lead to arguments or saying things that you do not really mean. So listen as much as you talk to keep communication balanced, okay? I want you to avoid unnecessary debates if possible, especially if fueled by ego. And on Friday, June 6th, Venus will move into her home sign of Taurus. Venus rules the sign of Taurus, so she's moving into her sign of rulership. Taurus is an earth sign, so this transit will bring out the grounded, sensual, and stable qualities of Venus. Venus in Taurus is all about pleasure through the five senses, pleasure through the senses, loyalty and love, financial stability, and slow, deliberate enjoyment of life. And it's a great time to deepen your commitments, to beautify your environment, and to indulge in creature comforts. So while Venus is in Taurus, I want you to really prioritize self care. Take the time to nourish your body and your soul. So I want you to think about massages, think about skincare, taking walks in nature, or having delicious meals. Show love to others through presence, through physical touch, and acts of comfort. And take the opportunity to beautify your space by redecorating your room or updating your wardrobe. But I want you to watch out for overindulging in pleasure. It can be easy to overdo the food, the shopping, and the relaxation. So stay mindful of excess and of the cost of overindulgence. And then on Sunday, June 8th, Mercury at 29 degrees of Gemini will conjunct Jupiter. So these guys will be together at 29 degrees of Gemini. And this transit can really boost communication, learning, and big picture thinking. Mercury rules details, thoughts, and communication. And remember, Jupiter is all about growth, abundance, and expansion, wisdom, and higher knowledge. So, this is a fantastic time to pitch a project, to present your vision, or to speak up in meetings because your words can be so impactful during this time. It's also an excellent time for writing blogs, working on a book, teaching a class, or broadcasting your ideas. Deep discussions about life, purpose, beliefs, or dreams. It's a favorable time for them during this transit. So, this is also a great time for heart to heart talk or sharing spiritual insights with others. But during this time, you might feel so inspired with what you're feeling that you forget to pause and really listen to others, to listen to what others are thinking and feeling. So remember to make this a dialogue and not a monologue. Also, Mercury likes precision, but Jupiter can blur the fine print. So don't ignore practical steps or practical aspects. Stay humble and open, especially in debates or in discussions about beliefs. And finally, to wrap the week up, also on Sunday, June 8th, after we have Mercury conjuncting Jupiter, Mercury is going to leave and move away from that last degree of Gemini, 29 Gemini, and into the water sign of Cancer. So when Mercury moves into Cancer, the energy of communication is going to shift. So if we think about Gemini communication, it's very logical and analytical. But Cancer communication will shift and have more of an emotional, intuitive, and nurturing undertone. Mercury governs how we think, how we speak, and how we process information. And Cancer is a water sign ruled by the moon. And so Cancer is all about deep feelings, protectiveness, and being rooted in the past or memories. So this transit, Mercury moving into Cancer, will really encourage us to speak from the heart and to listen to others with a sense of empathy and to reflect on the past. Thoughts and conversations become more emotionally charged and personally meaningful during this time. Your intuition may feel a lot stronger. You may be more attuned to unspoken cues and the feelings behind the words of those around you. So, key themes I want you to remember while Mercury is in the sign of Cancer. Emotional intelligence will be a really big thing of Mercury and Cancer, emotional intelligence and compassionate communication. Also, increased sensitivity in conversations. So during this time, please remember words have the power. Our words will have the power to really heal or hurt much more deeply with Mercury and the sign of Cancer. And also, our communication will really be focused around home, family, childhood, and safety. So, having Mercury in Cancer will be a beautiful time. It's a beautiful transit for nurturing conversations, emotional healing through words, and using your voice to create safety not only for yourself, but also for others around you. That wraps up our transits for this week. I want each and every one of you to set the intention to use this energy in its highest form. And when you set that intention to use the energy that way, it's almost as if the law of attraction and everything aligns for you perfectly. So always remember that you, each and every one of you, we are all deliberate creators. So next week, please join me. We will be discussing past life memories from children. I have interesting stories to share with you. And as I always like to remind you at the end of every show, the stars may guide us, but each and every one of us, we hold the power to shape our destiny. So I want you to use that power in a very intentional and in a very conscious way. Have an amazing week, and I will see you back here again next week.